Sitting here at the last of Uganda's landscape. Good evening, my dear viewers. I am your host, Dickens Ochero, the one hosting the Environment Dialogue. And today we delve into a critical issue that's affecting our beautiful nation here in Uganda. And this is a matter of life and death. And we know that due to the report from WHO, that's World Health Organization, which says that from 2020, 70% of people have been dying in Uganda due to non-accidental issue. And this has been as effect of very many issues that today we are discussing with my guest. And from 2020 to 2021, you find that it has increased from 17.9% to 19.5%, which is a very critical issue here in Uganda. And that's the reason why we are here as the young people, we are here as the nation, as the senior citizens of this nation who care about their nature, the Mother Earth, to discuss this, to articulate these issues, because we know that it's not only the matter of the rich or the poor or the government. It's a matter of everyone inclusive. And that's the reason why we are here this morning. I know that with this discussion, topical discussion that we have, everyone who is seated there at your television will realize that we are here to change things. We are here to employ all our ideas, everything that we know that we can help to save with our Mother Earth. We know that we can never leave anyone behind. That's the reason why this evening I am with my guests again, who are here in this panel. They are here to actually to digest every information that you will get to know. Without waste of time, let me welcome them. My dear guests, you're most welcome for this show. And on my right, I know that she's now becoming common at your television here. She's Patricia Namubiru. I know she's going to give more highlight about herself, what she's doing to you viewers, so that you get to understand. I know that there are certain people who are out there say that, how can I get in contact with these people? How can I learn more on what they're doing? Maybe the advocacy structure, maybe that they're trying to employ. So you'll get to know them. And on other side, we have Arthur Blick, the ED of Aya. He will also state more about himself. So without wasting time, let me start from Arthur. Even though they say that ladies first, but let me start from, from Arthur. Arthur, you're most welcome. Can you introduce yourself to the viewers?
Thank you. Thank you so much, moderator. Good evening, our viewers across this country. It's another humble opportunity and privilege to be here today. My name, as usual, Sanyu Arthur Blick, and I serve at Anchors for Youth Afrika as the Executive Director. Thank you so much.
Wow, you're most welcome, Arthur. Let me go to the Her Excellency herself, the President herself. Please introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hello everyone, good evening to you all. My name is Namubiru Patricia, the Pan-African Women Organization's President, MUBS chapter, and I'm very delighted to be here once again. And you all know, if the anthem is good, we sing it twice. So we are back to digest pollution today.
Wow, you have heard them, and this topic is interesting. You know, our dear listeners, that Uganda has been known for its beautiful biodiversity. That's why the colonial government even had to give us that name, that the Pearl of Africa, due to our beautiful biodiversity, which is stunning everywhere. That the whole world, even the tourists, that they are attracted to come to this country to have a view, to experience our biodiversity. And that's the reason why we are discussing today the effect of air pollution in our country. We know that this air pollution has been caused by very many things that are maybe due to human intervention, due to the government intervention, where we are seeing very many industries, factories cropping up day and night. We are seeing also that in agricultural sectors, there are certain things that the farmers are also practicing, that some of them are practicing due to ignorance, that is also affecting. And when we are talking about pollution, you know what it means? It means both air pollution, water pollution, and soil pollution, or plastic pollution. It's something that entails, I call it a cocktail of everything. Yeah. That's the reason why we are seeing very many people losing their life for this. And that's why today I'm glad that I have these people, these young people who are going to digest this. Okay, my dear guest, when we talk about this pollution, we have seen that there is right now a campaign of saving Lake Victoria, which is ongoing. And I think this is due to water pollution. Because I have an interaction with one of the fishermen at Port Bell, and he was saying that they are losing, that the rate of fish nowadays in Lake Victoria is reducing due to what? Water pollution and plastic pollution. And this affected them. And even they're seeing that even the water itself, it's been affected. It's not yet. So for them, they see that their life is at the danger if they don't get any other solution to come out of this. So when we are talking of this, can you please, let me start from Her Excellency herself. Her Excellency, because when we talk about this, you know that it's something which it entails human life and animal. It's everything. Because if human life is affected, it means even the biodiversity around human life all are affected. So please, with all this, can you give us an overview of the pollution in Uganda or in Kampala in general?
Okay. And so starting about pollution, we definitely have to describe it. Pollution is the introduction of harmful substances or contaminants into the environment. As you know, we have wastes in the environment, we have buveras, we have papers, and all those things that entail wastes. So the pollution comes in as we try to dispose of these wastes in a very disorderly manner. Yes, when we try to dispose of these things in a way that is not right, we end up polluting our environment. Yes, the pollution entails air pollution, water pollution, plastics pollution, noise pollution, and all that. And currently, we can tell that Kampala has a very high rate of pollution because of its population and the people who don't really mind about how they dispose of their wastes, the sewage, the plastics, the buveras, and all that. And research says that Kampala has exceeded the World Health Organization's pollution limits, and we can surely tell by what we can see with our eyes that, yes, Kampala is polluted. And apart from Kampala, we can also talk about the Lake Victoria. We know that Lake Victoria is polluted, and yet it's one of those leading sources of water, the fish, and being a habitat of all other aquatic animals. So pollution is really at a high rate in Kampala, Jinja, and other areas, Mukono, Mbarara, because of the poor waste disposal, because it all comes from the waste, the emissions from vehicles, from industries. And yes, we have to be industrialized, and there are ways to mitigate it, and we are going to see how to figure it out here.
Okay, we have heard from Patricia. Arthur, with all what Patricia has said, what is an overview of the current state of pollution in Uganda?
Yeah, thank you so much, moderator. Today's topic is a little touching, and I thank the moderator for having this topic, because then feeds into what we have been discussing all along. Pollution in itself is the excess, like my colleague said, the excess misuse or contamination of materials into the environment. And this then is as a result of very many factors. One of them is the urbanization we were talking the other day. And currently, if I can recall back from a small study under KCCA, by 2017, 2018, we are losing around 13,000 people as a result of pollution. Those deaths were directly attached to air pollution,
which is a very big threat.
So that shows you the magnitude of the topic we are discussing. So pollution in itself is as a result of urbanization. We need to do more in terms of controlling these emissions of gases, factories. We need to do a lot of environmental protection, most especially around our lake bodies. We need to do more in terms of curbing the dumping of these, the importations of these computers, where all these things go and then pollute us, the environment. If you ask me about the status, I want to do it a layman's way. If you walked around Kampala today, okay?
Yes.
Like today, when we were coming in town, there is a lot of jam. That jam is as a result of having a lot of, you know, cars. People are using a lot of cars. Those cars emit a lot of gases. Where do these old gases go? They go back into the environment and we breathe them back again. So the status, we are over polluted as a city, but this does not only affect Kampala in itself. Look around towns like Jinja, look around towns like Mbale, look around all those industrial towns. They are over polluted. As Uganda as a whole, we need to do much in terms of curbing the pollution issue.
Okay. Oh, looking at that, you know, we have seen also the WHO report, that's World Health Organization report, that Uganda is one of the African countries that has highly been affected with the issue of pollution.
Yeah.
And now that we are seeing that the effect of air pollution in our ecosystem. So does it mean that what Arthur said, Patricia, are they the primary causes or the other primary causes of this pollution in our country? So what are really, Patricia, the primary causes of this pollution in our country?
So, like Arthur has said, indeed, what he has said is it the other primary causes of pollution, the industrial emissions, the vehicle emissions. Like you said, Kampala has a lot of vehicles right now because everyone almost has a car in Kampala. The jam is crazy. Yes, the vehicle emissions from the cars like bring about the pollution. They are the very primary sources. The sewage, we have to believe that sewage in Kampala has become its own story. It's crazy. The sewage, the vehicle emissions, the industrial waste and all that. We can even talk about, besides Kampala, other primary sources are like the agricultural pesticide and all those things they use in the garden. When those things like are taken by the water, they have their way into the lakes and the water sources, and these are the primary sources of pollution. From these things, the poor waste, the waste definitely are the primary sources of pollution. That's all I can say.
Yeah, Arthur, in regards to Patricia, do you think that really are those one of the main primary sources of this pollution in our ecosystem that is affecting our ecosystem? Or there are others also?
I believe there are many. Pollution in itself is in very many categories. One of them, we have water, we have air, we have land, we have soil, we have I call it chemical.
Yeah, chemical pollution.
But for us, I think our focus as a country has been registered mainly into the air and the water. There has not been a lot of focus in terms of studies, in terms of contributions of soil, for instance, soil pollution. So Uganda as itself, we are so much, all the studies, all the discussions have been surrounded around water and air. And that is mainly because of the engagements as a country, mainly because of the economic activities we do as a country. Our focus has been more in terms of water, what the water brings on table, but also in terms of our industrialization, in terms of economic activities we do. So the major contributors to this, one is industrialization. We are, as a country, we are focused on industrializing the country, and that comes with its effects. We have not had intentional discussions of how to regulate the pollution of. There was a scenario sometime back, I think at the end of last year, where an investor in Mayoge running a sugar factory was dumping all the waste from the factory into people's gardens. This is a factory in the middle of you know, of a settlement, of people settled. So all the waste that would come from the untreated waste from the factory would then be feeding into people's gardens. And that then leads to loss of fertility of the soil, but also this practice was exposing community members to various hazards, diseases, name them. So a lot of industrialization, as we focus as a country, comes with a lot of damages to their health. Now, in terms of our water bodies, there has been a lot of dumping of the factory waste into the water, but also a lot of dumping of plastics into the water. We happen to as I happen to subscribe to a network that really, one, fosters community engagement in terms of cleaning. We encourage community cleanups, and that is, we've been running a campaign since last year for Save Lake Victoria.
Yeah, that's as a community initiative.
As a community initiative. And the biggest has been to remove the plastics from Lake Victoria. Our entry point has been at Port Bell, Kamwani, where we have engaged communities. We are trying to change the mindsets of people that this you are doing here is killing the source of livelihood you have there. So we've been engaging them in terms of community cleanups, but also in terms of cleaning all the plastics, and advocacy in terms of letting them know that this is part of a livelihood that we need to sustain for tomorrow and the years to come.
Okay. All right then. Let me come to Patricia. Patricia, looking at that, all that Arthur stated. So what are really the impact of this pollution in urban areas like Kampala, Jinja? Because these are that, if you're to look at Uganda, these are the two towns or urban areas where we know that it's compact of everything that Arthur said, the traffic jam, the industries, the water bodies, everything. So what are the impact of this pollution really to this urban? Because we are seeing that really, that like for instance, Lake Victoria right now, people are quite loud for Lake Victoria, Save Lake Victoria campaign and all that. And we know, and you're talking of Lake Victoria, someone's mindset starts from what? Ginger. So that's the reason why we are looking at its impact.
So going into the impact of the pollution, we can really start with the climate changes. Pollution has greatly impacted the climate negatively. We can realize there are increased heat levels in Kampala. We can realize that the rainfall totals are decreasing. We realize that there is a lot of heat in Kampala, and this all comes from the high gases that the industries emit. When they mix up in the air, this reduces the rainfall totals, and we end up having climate challenges. We're having global warming in Kampala and Uganda as well. We can realize that the agricultural productivity also decreases as the pollution increases. When the rate of pollution increases, talking about the MUBS, and like how Arthur talked about how this factory owner was disposing of waste in people's gardens, we realize that these gardens, if they are producing a high amount of food, the food totals will definitely decrease. This reduction in the agriculture production definitely brings about worries in the food security. Like out of pollution, we might get challenges in the food we access and find out that the food is no longer enough, but then it comes from the pollution. It's a far-fetched thing, but you realize that it's the pollution that will bring about these agricultural issues. And talking about pollution, there is one thing that will definitely come into your mind, and this is the health alert. Yes, when the industries emit gases and all that, and the sewage, the first thing that will come to us as a person, your respiratory system will be affected. Yes, some people have respiratory diseases such as asthma. Yes, so when these industries emit those gases, you might find that a lot of lives are being affected by these acts. Yes, the industries may not go into details to know what's happening to the people in the environment, but they're affecting people with those diseases, and making people spend a lot of money taking care of their lives, and just as a result of pollution. Talking about the veras and other plastic things, maybe sometimes we consume plastics and we don't know. This brings about cancer. We have to agree, and cancer is such an expensive disease to treat. It comes from pollution that we are treating things we do not know. It's affecting our health. Health-wise, pollution is harming us a lot, and maybe we can realize this because when definitely the industry emits the black gas, you will definitely know that the climate is going to be affected, but then you as a person, you're also one of the people who will have to be affected first, because
stop crying for global warming.
Yes, you will inhale. As someone who is in the environment, you will inhale. Pollution has greatly affected us. Realize that not only health-wise, like you find yourself spending on something like health, and we would have been having an air-free environment, but we cannot. We need the industries, right? But they're also causing harm to us. That's what I can say.
All right, then you have heard from my guests what they are sharing, what they are digesting. That's the reason why we are here. That's the reason why I tell you that you need to just hold your remote, don't touch your dial. We know that we are here from the bustling streets of Kampala to the serene of Lake Victoria shores. Pollution is leaving a significant mark on our environment. And that's the reason why we are here to articulate this together. Let's just go for a short commercial break, and we shall be back with what are the solutions that you and I can do, and what are the policy intervention that we can come out, that we can table before the government, and we say, look, this can happen if we do it in this and this way. Or maybe we need to bring other measures that can keep all this effect, because the issue of life is very important. Thank you very much. Let's go for a short commercial break, and we shall be back.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Are you ready to embark on a transformative educational journey like no other? Look no further than the prestigious University of Kisubi, your gateway to excellence and success. At University of Kisubi, we don't just offer education, we offer a life-changing experience that equips you with the skills, knowledge, and confidence to conquer the world. Our state-of-the-art facilities, a world-class faculty of health, education, business, ICT, and innovative programs ensure that you receive a top-tier education that prepares you for the challenges of tomorrow. Unleash your potential, unlock new possibilities, and embrace a future full of promise at University of Kisubi. Choose excellence, choose innovation, choose University of Kisubi, where your journey to success begins.
Support the Uganda Catholic Television with MTN Momo. Step 1. Dial *165*3#. Step 2. Enter merchant code 180572. Step 3. Enter any amount from 500 Uganda shillings. Step 4. Pay using MTN mobile money. Step 5. Enter PIN code and send. Step 6. You will receive a confirmation text for supporting the Uganda Catholic Television.
Ronaldo down in the area, penalty!
Don't miss the sports link on UCTV. Catch us every Monday to Friday from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. as we take you into the thrilling world of sports in football.
And Messi! Thuram! Saka shoot, deflects in, Arsenal have the lead!
Netball,
Nasanga taking the shot, and look at that exceptional steal.
motorsports, boxing, swimming, and much more. UCTV Sports Link with Samgenza Mustafa. Only on UCTV. Good news for all.
Hello and welcome back to Connect with Mary on the Uganda Catholic Television, Good News for All. Today, like I told you earlier, we are going to talk about the 7 sorrows of Mary. You know, for me, the strength of Mary, I think, you know, we are looking at Mary as a symbol of strength and resilience.
When Simeon saw Jesus, because the angel had, God had revealed to him that he will not die until he sees.
If it was not the woman, the mother of Jesus.
UCTV, good news for all.
Right, welcome back for this another segment of this environmental talk show that we are having here at UCTV. You know that Kampala has one of the worst air quality in Africa. And who are the culprits? We see the manufacturing industry, we see the vehicle emission, agricultural activities that has caused all this that we are suffering right now. And that's the reason why we're having terrible, terrible diseases like the respiratory diseases. Nowadays, even the doctors are telling us other diseases that we don't even understand. You have never even studied it in science in your primary school, and the doctor is telling you certain diseases, and you say, are they manufactured or something that really? That makes some people now just run to church and say, maybe this is a demon that needs to be cast out. So, coming back to my guest, we are going to look at some of the solutions of all this, because we cannot only complain of the effect of what causes without coming up with certain solution to treat all these issues that we are having in place. So my guest, let me start with Arthur. Arthur, what are some of the solutions that you see that really the government maybe can come up with, or maybe we can initiate in the community, or maybe someone watching us right now can say that maybe I can take this as an individual action for me to practice this in my community, so that at least I safeguard my community from this. Because if you say that, it's the issue of KCCA or Ministry of Health, you don't know that you are the one who will be affected, because that person there you're still waiting for is an AC.
Thank you, moderator. Before even we go to the solutions, I wanted to highlight 2 effects.
Okay.
For some of us who have children, young children, you have come to realize that of late you are a very frequent visitor in a hospital. And you know what they tell you? Viral infections. So you can't, every day you go to, you're like, but when we were growing up, these infections were not there. What happened? So because of the different things we are consuming, the air that is bad, the foodstuffs that are contaminated with pesticide, the whole environment is contaminated. We are exposed, and our children are overexposed into these different diseases. You might call them demons, but this is reality. We can't look for divine intervention now. Also, if I have a serious example. One example I have is that do you know Kasese?
Yes, I know.
Have you heard of cobalt? There used to be a company called the Kilembe Cobalt Mining Company. Now, that place, when it was mining cobalt, all the residues of cobalt, the ions, the ores, the what, were being dumped into the different spaces around the factories. As we talk now, the people of Kasese cannot dig around because the soils are infertile. All the soils are contaminated. There is nothing you can grow on those soils. So as we are talking pollution, these are some of the effects that we are looking at in terms of the impact of generations to come. First track, coming to solutions. I think as a country we need to be intentional. Intentional in identifying that this is a problem and we need to have more stewed interventions towards it. There is a country in East Africa that has a public holiday every last Saturday of the month. Community cleanup, countrywide, called Uganda. They find you moving when you're supposed to be in your community cleaning, you'll have a penalty. And that is in Rwanda here. There's one time I was visiting and it was a Saturday, we are moving and we saw everyone on standstill. We asked what's happening. They said, today is a community cleanup.
It's like a national policy.
It is a day from Kampala to the village in Isinjiro, to the village in Mbale, to the village anywhere. They know between 8 to 11, you must be doing work. If you can't do work, pay an alternative of the work that you're supposed to do. Now, that is intentional in addressing a problem. And I think as a country, we need to move that way. That in policies that we are trying to put across, the challenge we have is that the policies we do are boardroom policies. We need to do policies that trickle down to the last person. Policies that are sustainable are community-led and community-owned policies. That the last person, the end user, gets to understand the policy and appreciates it and follows it to the dot. Now, that is a policy that you will have very minimal interventions in terms of implementing it. But these policies of every car has to have a dustbin. What of the ones who are walking and are eating maize cobs and throwing them? And they are drinking juices in the veil and they are just dumping. Those policies will not affect them because for you, your target is cars. And yet the biggest person who is dumping, it might be the everyday person.
Yeah.
Who we need to target. And the mindset then is, those are the people, the rich people, those problems are for rich people. And yet this is a nationwide humanity problem. So we need to get policies that are skewed towards everyone being involved. Secondly, we need, the other time we are talking about the 3 R's.
Yeah.
We need to learn that practice.
Reduce.
We need to reduce plastics. We need to recycle. We need to reuse. Now, once we do that, there's I was watching some space somewhere, and someone was telling us of a certain country where, for instance, Rwenzori.
Yeah.
If you go with if you go to buy Rwenzori water, they will give you a box. Okay?
Yeah.
With your bottle. Now, they will tell you if you come back, if that is done and you come back, you will not buy water. You'll be taking free water.
Wow.
You get?
Yeah.
That is intention in terms of reducing how many plastic bottles you have dumped there. Yeah. But also, that cannot be done alone. It needs some government intervention.
That's
so
true.
As government, we need to look at how do we then engage with the private sector players to make sure that our focus is actually on maintaining and protecting the environment. Secondly, we need to do a lot of awareness creation. Yeah. And at this point, I want to thank the UCTV. This has been a very good platform for a country to understand some of these silent issues that the country has neglected. If you look around all other channels, there's football, there's the
politicking.
the best one is the traditional herbalist, yeah. Which I'm not saying are bad, but we need programs like this that UCTV has put up, because then you are able to raise awareness, you are able to sensitize the communities, and before you know it, it will be one person, 2 persons, and then it will be a society. And for us at AYA, we always say, if I have not done it, no one else has done it. So we want to appreciate the efforts and intentional commitment by UCTV to make sure that there is a whole programming just focusing on the environment and its effect. Pollution inclusive. Thank you so much. That's a very big
All right. Thank you, Arthur. Let me come to Patricia, our excellency, herself, the one who has been dealing with the youth movement, the young people. And we know that the young people, they are the most energetic people in this country. They are sometimes become a problem or become good people in the country. They
have the numbers.
So they have the number. They are the one who really can. Also, they contribute a lot to this country well-being if they are used properly and they have been given a proper direction. So, Patricia, with all this, what are the solutions that maybe we can amplify to a young person, maybe who is out there, who know that really I can do something? It's not only waiting, I need to wait maybe for KCCA to bring other policies in place, or maybe to come and say A, B, C, D, when you know that your home is where you are the one who is a king of your home. It's not someone should come from out and show you that, please, you need not to do this A, B, C, D, when you know that this is wrong and this is right. So what are some of the solutions that you see that the young people can embrace there in their community?
Okay, thank you so much, moderator, for that question. And yes, as for the young people, here speaking as a person who is very sensitive and intentional about how we dispose rubbish generally at our different places of residence. Yes, I think there is a very big issue with the disposal of waste at home. It starts from the gardens. Do you know how families have gardens and they have that part in the garden where they keep on placing the rubbish? You find that buveras spread in the garden. Yes, I think that is another issue that needs to be eradicated. As youth, we can really find better ways of disposing the rubbish rather than throwing it in the garden. Back at home, we used to burn rubbish every evening. Yeah. I remember that.
Even some people are still doing that. They're still practicing those. Yeah. Because whenever, like even today, I was moving in the community in the morning when I was coming here. I was seeing certain people are still doing this. Yeah.
Yes, so I really think that is one habit we need to keep on. Yes, like back home every evening we would be burning rubbish, but currently it has died. I don't know why, or because we even have metallic wastes, all those wastes. The wastes have water in them, so somehow you end up in a state where you cannot burn this rubbish. But if at all you are a youth and your wastes are somehow plastic or papers, try to burn that thing so that we can reduce these wastes. Yes, you'll find that something can be burnt and it disappears. Anyway, it also comes back to polluting the environment. But yes, this can try. As youth, I think I would want to run a campaign where we can ban the rubbish again. Yes, and as he talked about the community cleanups, I think that is a very ideal thing. As a student, I think that is one of the projects I am going to start up in campus.
That's good.
Yes, to make sure that we can clean our campus, because it will start from us, then spread out to the areas. Maybe as we start from campus, I want to start it in my campus, but then take it back to my village. I realize in my village there is sewage, like sewage passes through people's doors. Like a shop is open, then all of a sudden you're in a salon, then you're smelling sewage. They are cleaning. Yes, as a youth, I feel like, as you've said, we are still energetic. I think we would use our energy to do those cleanups, find a way how we can remove this sewage, like how to stop it, like instead of having to sweep the sewage like every day. It's affecting our life. It's polluting the environment. Yes, and realize that in my village there are people who are paid for this, but realize that there are people who do not care about their life. They've given their life to risk. They're risking their life for the lives of others because they want us to be in a clean environment. They have to come every morning and sweep the sewage away, which is a very bad practice. And another thing I would recommend the youth to, we have those areas where they say do not dump, and fine 50,000. You will find people coming at night and they dump in the exact places which have do
they
not
do
dump.
Exactly.
Yes, they say fine 50,000. Someone comes at night. So, I think we should be intentional, and this comes back to us. Yes, the government has tried to put the dustbins, the KCCA bins, dump it here, those things, but it comes back to us. Yes, the government will not follow up the youths or any other people. As a youth, we used to have those. We had a dumping site back at home, and you would have to take your rubbish and dump it, near the swamp. But then the youths, because you're lazy, you wait for people to sleep and come and put it pour it on the road. That pollution, you can imagine the pampers, the what, it comes back to us, it affects our health. I would also advise the youth to be so intentional about what you do. It will start from nearby, leaving a plastic bottle where you're seated, yes, and it's we can recycle, yes. We have people collecting the the plastic bottles. Find out who is collecting the plastic bottles like around you, like for a better thing. Yes, we've seen a lot of children and other people selling these things to get some money. Find out who is in need of these plastics, who is doing. We used to sell scrap like back then, you know, those families, they're like childish things. Yes, like, let's collect the scrap. Who is collecting plastics? Let's find a way of disposing of these things in their rightful places. Back in my school, I went to Mengo Senior School, and we used to have a campaign whereby we would dump things according to their type. They would say, plastics in this bin, metallic things in this bin, glasses here, but
the sorting. We need to do the sorting.
Yes,
the sorting bit of it.
But as
and we are seeing here at UCTV, they have a very good practice for that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we recommend, we applaud you, UCTV, for that. It is a beautiful thing. But as you know, someone will put it there, but as the youth, are we going to really read? Are we going to dump it there? Like they've said plastic. Someone will dump there a metallic thing, yes? And you won't be there all the time to check on this. So that goes back to us, the youth, being intentional. Like as you're going on with all these, like trying to solve the problems of pollution, you have to be intentional. Yes, there are people like as youth. I'll advise us not to leave like in case you're in an environment, pick up the things around like that you can dispose them of. Yes.
Because that's called leadership.
Yes,
leading by yourself.
Yes, I believe, you know, those things, you enter a classroom and it is really dirty, then like we can all see it. Yes, as this, I can advise us to be the good examples. You can get up and clean the environment. Yes, someone will see from you and take it to their home, and somehow the change starts from you. You will change your friend, and your friend will change someone else.
Okay, thank you, Patricia. Just in 1 minute, Arthur. You have seen this year, the National Environmental Management Authority. I was with my producer when they were passing and launching the National Air Quality Act, which has just been launched recently. Do you think that this policy, will it work really for our country, as you are trying to suggest certain measures that we can borrow from our neighbors or from what other people are really embracing that can? Do you think really this policy that the NEMA has passed, can it really work? Just in 1 minute.
I think, like I've always said, we have the policies, but we are lacking in terms of cascading the policies down. The experience has been that these policies have remained at boardroom level. Do you know that we have the National Health Adaptation Plan?
Yeah.
Do people know it? What you're saying, do people know it? It starts with, yes, formulating a policy is one, but then cascading it down to practice is another.
Yeah.
You can't be formulating a policy and then you're promoting visitors to come and invest in the middle of the town. So it becomes another one. You have a policy that is trying to curb pollution. You are promoting boda banjas here, for people to have a lot of boda bodas in town. It is not a one size fits all. It is a multi-faced approach. That as you are looking at the policy this side, can you engage in terms of, I love the policy, I love the approach. Government has been targeting 2 million trees in this season.
Yeah.
And the president has been very intentional. So as you're trying to do policy of quality air, plus also do issues that surround, for instance, afforestation.
Yeah.
Manage the public transport menace, so that you don't have people then, you know, you're not bringing a policy in terms of air quality, but then you're not addressing the issue of the causes this side. So we cannot solve a solution if we don't know the cause. The cause is we have a lot of bodas, we have a lot of old taxis, we have a lot of old vehicles being imported in the country. Then that alone, if we curbed it this side, the other policy will be realized. So yes, the policies are in place, and I want to appreciate that. But then we need to do much more in terms of cascading down to the last person. Like I told you, I still want to give you the example of Uganda. It started in 2017, up to date. Even the child that is born today will wake up knowing every end of Saturday there is community cleanup. You may not understand the essence at the beginning, but with time, it comes and sits into your brain and says, hey, why do I need to waste a lot of time doing cleanup when I can actually not dump there? You get?
Yes.
So it gives you that kind of lifeline that there is something we are doing here, but when you come back home and like, why would I waste a lot of time digging when I can actually sort these things from home so that they don't go into the public sphere? So yes, the policies can work if we are intentional in having them to work.
All right. Thank you, Arthur. Before going that, because our time is really fast spent, let me maybe give Her Excellency to give a recommendation and a last remark for the viewers down.
Thank you so much, moderator. And yes, the last remarks, it all comes back to us. When we pollute our environment, it comes back to us in one way or the other, health-wise, financially. It will definitely run to the food totals. Realize that if we pollute the water, the fish production levels will definitely reduce. We are going to get poor quality water, poor air. We're going to inhale contaminated air and all that. And this comes back to our health. And we already have a short lifespan, yes. And the more we go on carrying out these poor waste disposal and polluting the environment, that's the more our lifespan will go on reducing, yes. So as we front our health, as we front the health of other people and like how to live a better life, let's dispose of the waste properly. Let's be intentional about the pollution, yes. Let's be intentional, and as industry owners, find ways to mitigate these effects, the pollutions. Vehicle owners, I don't know why the vehicles emit. I think it comes from not servicing the cars. Vehicle owners, if your car is
we buy used cars already. They're already old.
Yes,
so
someone say accidental cars that were
but then vehicle owners service your cars. Those black gases, and those most especially taxi drivers. Those black fumes that come out, they affect us. You know, you're in a taxi and then it meets this black gas. You cannot run away. You have to inhale. Yes, it affects our health. Even the taxi driver, you're going to inhale that black gas with me. So it comes back to us. Let's be intentional about these things. And yes, thank you for watching. I wish you all a blessed evening, and I send greetings to all my beloved ones. Thank you for watching. Please comment, share, and like. And thank you to our moderator and Arthur. Thank you for being here. And the vote of thanks goes to UCTV. Thank you for hosting us, and thank you for making us interested in our environment. The environmental dialogue is really impacting our lives, making us more knowledgeable and sharing our knowledge with the world. Thank you so much.
Wow, let me come back here. I had to give honor to the Excellency. Let me give our Arthur also to give his recommendation to the viewers down there.
For us, as Aya, we always want to encourage that it starts with us. We don't expect any other person to do it if you've not done it. So, dear viewers, it starts with you. The sorting at home starts with you. The pollution starts with you. And then it goes to the community. We want to thank you, UCTV, for giving us an opportunity to share the knowledge, but also making sure that environment becomes part and parcel and part of the discussions of the day-to-day lives of our community members. Thank you so much.
All right, then, thank you for joining us for the environmental dialogue that we always have here at UCTV every Wednesday from 8 to 9 live at your television. Those ones who have missed from the TV, they can catch us also at our YouTube channel. That's the UCTV Environmental Dialogue channel that starts from 9 to 10. That you know that you can get all the information. That's why we send much applause, all that to the management of UCTV, Caritas Uganda, those ones who have been supporting this movement, this show. Really, we can't say that we just keep quiet like that, but to thank you for your endeavorness, for always trusting us as the young people with this show. That's the reason why we are here as the young people, to discuss, to digest everything that concerns our country. And that's the reason our Excellency has said that please you can comment on our comment section there. You can say anything. You can really, because this message has right now impacted very many people who are coming to us, and we are trying to connect and see that they are helped. Not only discussing and living here at the studio, but trying out to reach the community to help them. Thank you very much. See you next week.
UCTV. Good news